Hi guys, what it is today is June the 16th. First off, I am going to talk about injustice is all around us, and in a way, it's our fault. I have a little story time for you about another way that injustice has affected my life. And I'm just telling these stories because I know that for each story that I tell of injustice, I know there's somebody else that has had to deal with the same thing. And the more that we hear these stories, the more that other people just may not have to go through it. And had someone told their stories of injustice before, it could have possibly, stopped me from going through injustice. So we have to realize that we all affect one another's life. It's almost like that movie Crash that Ludacris was in years ago. How each person played a role in each person's life and how we all have bias and we need to get past them. We think people are like the stereotypes they put in the media, and that causes confusion. Before I get into that, today is my cousin's birthday. It is June the 16th. She's turning 30, I want to say 33 today. So I'm going to pop her picture up there. Happy birthday, Sharita. She was actually named after me and my sister together, Shara and Kita. So, Sharita, yes. Okay, so the past weekend we did kind of celebrate with her, me, my cousin. Y'all know him, D underscore Almighty Mac. We all got together, my sisters, my nephew, got him off that Xbox and got him to the beach. We all went out and had a decent time. I'll show you a couple pictures here, but if you want to see that full video, you'll have to head over to D underscore Almighty Mac's page, and it's gonna his channel, I'm sorry, and the full length video of that will be on that channel. So besides that, yesterday I started a boot camp session. Um, there's so much injustice. Oh yeah, I'm sorry. I was telling you about the second chances boot camp that I am in. That the first day was yesterday, and that was really nice. We're talking about second chance legislative that is going to be hopefully passed. Juju, give me 10 minutes. He ain't gonna come back in 10 minutes. He gonna come back in 2 seconds. Baby. Okay, so Florida hopefully is gonna pass some second chances legislative because they had this really tough on crime age for a long time. Florida's gotten rid of parole. Florida doesn't have any family programs. It doesn't have family visits. It's nothing to further the bond between family that happens in Florida DOC. Nothing that nothing. So hopefully, that changes and there's people that they sent away forever and a day, just like Marcello, and they were wrongfully convicted. I'm hearing more and more cases of wrongful convictions. And I really don't think they're that wrongful. I think they're purposeful because they do too much willing and dealing. Wrongful gives you the illusion that it was a mistake. Make no mistake, they did that because they that's pretty much what they wanted to do. You don't make a mistake when you're constantly affecting factors or variables that would give you your solution. It's not a mistake when you keep tampering with those and then you get a wrongful conviction. If you leave the variables alone and just let the process play out like it is supposed to during a trial, most times you will come to the correct conclusion. but this is why there's so many wrongful convictions out there. So that's just a segue into injustice. But injustice lies all around us, not just in our criminal justice. We do need criminal justice reform, and I'm seeing it's more than just my state of Florida. It's really this whole country that needs it. Really, this country needs to stop seeing African Americans and brown people as threats. I don't know why they see us as more violent, more um, criminalized, and it's just not. It goes back to those stereotypes. I believe for each stereotype of a black person that is bad, they should also show a good black person that is actually doing things, because I know a lot of them, and I don't see them all on the media like that. And we should. We should see that. Our kids need something to look to. We don't need to just have our kids seeing that, oh, all the black people I see on TV are criminals. So we have to start having. Okay, this is not the point of that video, Keita. Pull it back. The point of this video that is when you sit down and when someone's going through something and you let it slide because it doesn't affect you, you never know when it can come back around and affect you. So that being passiveness actually aided in you not getting justice. So injustice lies all around us, not just in criminal injustice. There is injustice, period, in the court systems, period, all through it. Like even within like civil claims, and even within personal injury claims. So I have also been done unjustly in a civil suit that I had. It's been years. I'm still suffering from the pain. It's been 8 years since I had a slip and fall, and I was done the worst that you can ever think of. And when I drive past all these little lawyers that say slip and fall and you get this, this, and this, and it kind of like lights a little fire inside of me, because I'm like, wow, I slipped and fell and I got nothing. I actually got debt. I actually got collections and stuff like that, which it shouldn't have been that way. So I'm going to get into that story. It was my birthday, my 32nd birthday in 2013. I wanted to go see Ice Cube. I am still a rap enthusiast, and I always loved Ice Cube. He was one of my favorites from way back. So my mother was buying me Ice Cube tickets. We had went out to eat, and the family was about to was going to stop by Walmart, and then I was going to drop everybody off, and then I'm going to go, get ready for my concert, purchase my tickets, because I didn't know I was going to go until Mom surprised me. So we get ready to go into the Walmart. I can't say it. The Super Center, my bad. Oh, we get ready to go into the Super Center. So I'm thinking, I have these crazy contacts. I have keratoconus, and it's a rare eye disease. So you have to use special contact solution. And because it's so rare, I've seen over the years less and less stores tend to carry the necessary products for keratoconus. So I can't find my contact solution everywhere. It used to be like this cheaper version. Now there's just only the expensive brand. There's no other alternatives and stuff like that. So, and a lot of stores just weren't selling that, because I guess they weren't selling much of it. So they stopped selling it. So I was looking for it's called GP solution, gas permeable solution for gas permeable contact lenses. So I'm looking for that for my contact, and I'm like, maybe maybe this Super Center way out here has it. So let me try to, go up in there and see if they have it. So everybody gets out the car. My aunt, she gets on one of those little motor trolley things, the little buggy thing that you drive around the store. My cousin, I have no clue why, but he gets on one. He didn't need one at the time. He gets on a buggy. Then my sister is walking alongside on the side of one of them. And then I think it was my daughter, was walking along the other side. So it was two buggies, like horizontally aligned, and then the two people walking on the other side of them. So they're walking long ways, like side by side together in the store. It had been raining, so we were going into the store, and there's a double door. There's the first set of doors, and then there's the second set of doors. And as we're entering in the second set of doors, I'm trying to tell my cousin, hey, can you move over, because I can't, there's nowhere else I can go. There's nothing, but it was a row of buggies just sitting there. But the buggy corral was actually outside that door. It was outside in the first little area before you come through the second set of doors. So it was no clue as to why they just had a row of buggies sitting there. So it is wet. So I'm like, can you move? And before I can say, can you move over, I went from as tall as I stand, 5'5", to boom, flat on my back. Flat on my back. The buggies were wet. The floor was slick. And when I fell, my head bust the hard floor. My head bust the hard floor. It's like I collapsed straight back. It was no falling on my butt first and then my head. So when I fell, I couldn't move. I was stuck. I couldn't move. My hands flew up, and they were just like in a panic, like they were up, and like my fingers were like crimped. So I was stuck in that mode. I could see everybody walking past me. I couldn't move. I couldn't talk. I was just stuck. And I'm looking like, oh my goodness, this is how I die? Like, I really die on my birthday? I really thought that was it, because I'm seeing my body not moving, and I can't move my body, but I'm not okay, and I can see everything going on. I can't even talk. I couldn't say anything. And it was a few moments later. I wouldn't know a time frame, because that's crazy. You're basically in your body but can't move your body. That's what it feels like. So finally, my movement comes back to me, and I'm like, I'm not okay. Meanwhile, my family's still walking in. They still walking in, not knowing that I done just slapped my head on this floor. I go ahead, and finally I'm able to talk, and I'm able to kind of sit up some, and I'm like, my head is hurting. I feel like my back, everything is just hurting. So I'm sitting there. Nobody comes over to me. Nobody from the super center, nothing. The customer service center was over to my right. That person didn't even, they said that he kept looking over. Later it comes out that he said he thought I was just playing in the store. Like, they never looked over. They never tried to help. So finally, my cousins, they start taking pictures, and they're like, you got to get her some help. She just fell. So I'm trying to get up, and they're like, no, just lay there. Just lay there. My family, they're like, just lay there. And so they called I had to do a report. They called the ambulance. They take me off in the ambulance. And I end up in the hospital for my birthday. That's how I spent my birthday. They did CAT scan, x-rays and stuff. And then finally later that evening they released me, but I wasn't able to go to the Ice Cube concert. Okay, so this is just the beginning. After that fall, I have pain. My body's just hurting, but I'm told that nothing's broken, so I'm fine. I'm still hurting though. Like, it doesn't feel fine. I go to the super center, and they later they it was I was told, now I worked at a super center. Now I didn't work in that one though, but I worked at a super center. So I'm trying to handle this case, and they're basically like giving me the runaround and stuff like that. So ultimately, I'm told that the only way that I can do anything is I couldn't use my insurance to go to the doctor to continue to treat, because it is now a slip and fall case. So the only way to get treatment was to get a lawyer, and for them to, fight for me to get treatment or whatever. And I ultimately had to start a slip and fall claim. Now, mind you, I work for this company. Really, can my luck get any better? I have worked for that company for 11 years. I have built up stock. I have built up 401k. Needless to say, I hated that job. I really did. I hated that job with a passion. But I was so scared to leave because I had so many things and I was making a decent pay and stuff like that. But that job just treats you like you are way less than nothing. You don't even exist. They treat you so bad. I actually used to protest. The workers would protest, and I was a part of that group. Um, they kind of are the ones that gave us hope, because, see, people don't just protest just, for things that you tend to see on the media about protesting. Protesting is a tool and peaceful protesting, it's always been peaceful for us. When work conditions are not right, people protest. Like, how do you get change unless you let the outside know what's going on inside? So, yeah, I would protest with that group and stuff like that. So when this slip and fall happened, and they realized where I was employed at, my own job started messing with me. I went from an employee that worked there for 11 years, that had the awards that they give out to you and stuff like that for good work, or this, and that. Um, all of that. And all of a sudden, no write ups, not a one. All of a sudden, I was almost on my third write up after I slipped and fell. Now, can we not put two and two together? I was getting written up for stupid stuff. The color of my hair, I was getting written up for that. When I can see several other girls that had the same color hair, I was getting written up because I wasn't scanning fast enough. I was getting rid of, and I'm like, how in the world is this flying? So I'm telling the lawyer about this. I really did not want to enact a case against them, but I couldn't get any medical treatment unless I did. So now I have my job trying to fire me. They're basically trying to fire me. So I was at the last point before getting fired. There was one more write up, and then I would be fired. So I decided, Kitty, you better get up and go find you another job. They're going to let you go. And it's nothing that you did. They the ones put some wet freaking buggies where they don't even belong. They don't belong on a slick floor. They belong in the buggy corral that has carpet around it, so that once you leave that wet area, you walk it out in the carpet, and then you can walk on the slick floor. There was no wet floor signs around that area, nothing. And it's me that takes the fall literally for that. So I get the lawyer. I found another job. I was working at one of those paycheck loan places, and I'm doing decent there. It is kind of strenuous for me because now it is a lot of typing, and you already know I have the problems with the carpal tunnel. So I'm treating, and I go to a chiropractor. I see him for a while. He's claiming to be the best in that city or whatever. And at the end, he's like, okay, I'm done treating you. And I'm like, I'm still in pain. What do you mean you're done treating me? He's like, oh, Well, you're not going to get 100%. So, that's where your pain and suffering is going to supplement. And I'm like, I don't care about that. I'm hurting. I want to feel like I felt before that fall. So I wanted to feel like I felt before, like before I hit the hard behind floor. And I'm told because of the hard hit, hard hits on your head like that can cause Alzheimer's later in life. It can cause seizures. It can cause all kinds of things. Just because you hit your head today doesn't mean you're not going to have damage, and they can't really detect it that quickly. But later in life, you can have different things happen to you because of a hard hit on your head like that. So he's like, well, I can't treat you no more. So I go to the lawyer. First of all, this lawyer tells me that he's ethical. He is for the people. He is not like the other lawyers, blah, 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 blah. So I'm trusting him, naive and dumb, trusting him. And he says I can go see and treat with another place because there's no reason that I shouldn't be, able to treat if I'm not feeling better. So I go to another place. It's an alternative to, actually this is the third place now, because the first place I went to told me I was not injured. And I'm like, I'm still hurting. What do you mean I'm not injured? The second place that I went to treated me for only so long, and then that was it. He was saying it's over. The third place was alternative. They weren't really chiropractors, so they didn't adjust anything, but they did other things to try to help you. You get the massage. There was like this water bed thing they did. They did all kinds of stuff. And then you have to do your little hand and arm exercises and stuff like that. The little bicycle and stuff like that. So I went to three places. Then I'm like, I'm actually still hurting. Um, I tried the injections where the back of my skull, the base of my skull, they injected. I really can't remember what the injections were, but it was supposed to stop that area from constantly hurting. I suffered from daily headaches, like every single day. It was just a matter of time before I have a headache. So I had the injections. They didn't do pretty much nothing. The injections did not work. So I'm just in pain and trying to still work. And the same thing, that's why I have all these issues now that I mention from time to time. So later, I'm told I'm thinking, like before, I was told that I had two herniated discs in my neck, and that third doctor is the one's like, no, you actually have three. You have three herniated discs in your neck, and it's not good. That's not good at all. So I'm constantly in pain. I went to this African doctor as well. That didn't work. He was just trying to actually just prescribe me medicine, and I'm not a medicine person. I do not like to take medicines. I don't like to take anything, like, to be honest with you. I don't trust those medicines all the time, and a lot of time the side effects are a lot worse than you know. So I didn't do that. So it's still the pain. I'm still going through waiting process because it's a long waiting game. I'm getting bill after bill after bill from everyone you can think of, and I'm writing them back, rejecting them, telling them no, I have a claim against this. Um, basically is going to court. Stop billing me. Don't bill me anymore because this is their debt. Do you know the super center would not even pay for my ambulance ride? They refused everything. They denied everything. Denied everything. None of it was their fault at all. And that super center has so much money. I was told first of all, it was hard to find a lawyer because all the lawyers are saying, no, we're not going up against them. No, 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 sirree, no. So it was so hard to find a lawyer. So I finally find this man here. And I guess I got to wrap this story up a little bit. So I do all this treating. I ultimately lost my job. I'm hurting all the time. So that's how I ended up. Finally, that job that I went to, they fired me as well. They told me, just please just return your uniform. So I end up at a theme park because I'm dropping my cousin off at the theme park, and he's like, why don't you just come in and apply? And I'm like, I really, when you think about it, where I was, and now I'm basically at the bottom. And I'm not throwing no shade on theme park workers, baby. Theme park work is hard as but you don't get paid that much. And for me to come from what I was at, all my benefits, and now I'm basically starting over. I'm starting over. For a while, I was unemployed and I had to survive off of the small check that they give you, the government that they give you for cash assistance, and you work your butt off. It's not even worth that cash assistance at all. So I had to hurry up and find a job, um, cash assistance and food stamps at that time, uh, just to try to keep feeding my child because I couldn't, you know. So in the end, I'm like, well, at least when the money comes through, possibly we can get ourselves together, and I might even be able to, get enough out of that to get Marcello a lawyer. So I'm thinking, well, at least in the end, I'm in so much pain, but at least possibly at the end of all of this, I may have enough money to actually get Marcello a lawyer. So possibly this bad situation, may work out in the end. That's what I was thinking. I always try to find the bright, the bright part of everything. Though people call me negative, I always try to find the bright side. Well, maybe I went through this because it's going to be better, and I always think that. But in the end, it always it turns out worse, which I don't understand that. When you have positive thoughts and positive energy, you're supposed to get positive things back, but I kind of get it backwards. I have no idea. It's like an endless day of opposite day. Like it never ends. And it makes you want to think, if that is the case, maybe if I put bad out there, I'll get good. But that's not in me. I can't put bad vibes out there. I cannot do people wrong. I can't cut over people. I can't mistreat people. I don't have that in my spirit to do that. So, but I have been mistreated. I have been misused, abused. I've been walked over, stepped on, everything you can name. So, I'm thinking that, yeah, maybe, this is all in all how we're gonna end up, something good's gonna happen out of this. I keep trying to treat, I think it was some years. I'm getting tired of going to all these treatments because it's time consuming. It's a lot when you're going like 3 times a week to a chiropractor or a medical professional. You get over it, like you're tired of it. So I'm just wanting this to end. And I get a call from the lawyer, and he's basically like, yeah, your case is worth this many thousands of dollars, and we're going to be wrapping it up soon. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's finally, this is the end of that. And, we can move past that. My mother's death passed. She unexpectedly passed. And that is injustice. That's a whole separate incident that could have been avoided if, people cared about her like she was their mother. You know what I'm saying? Your patients should be like they're your own, and you should treat them as though you were treating your own family member, not less because, whew. So my mother just passed. The week before, I get a call from this lawyer. And I'm thinking it's the week after my mother died. Actually, I think it's that week because we hadn't even had her funeral yet. So I'm in mourning. I'm actually in mourning. And I get a call from the lawyer. So I'm thinking, well, maybe, it could be a little bit of good news. Baby, do you know what this man called and told me? He says, Mm-mm. He says, I'm sorry, Miss Dixon. I'm going to have to tell you that I'm going to have to drop your case. And I'm like, what the? You just sent me this message talking about all these $1,000. What the heck you talking about drop my case? It's like, yep, I have to drop your case because I just seen the security cameras and you slipped in your dress. If I had knew this from the beginning, I never would have took your case. I'm like, man, whatever. I ain't slipping no goddamn dress. What the heck I had on? A wedding dress? With the long train, and I still would have slipped forward, not backwards. You don't slip backwards in a freaking dress. How the heck did I slip in my dress? My dress does not pass my ankles. He tried to, oh my gosh, they think you're so freaking dumb. You're not dealing with a dummy. I am brilliant. My dress was long, but it didn't surpass my foot. How the heck I slipped in my dress? I did not slip in my dress. And if you slip in your dress, both feet wouldn't be in the same area. If you watch the security cameras, it looked like I just collapsed backwards. You don't slip in your dress in that manner. They wouldn't give me the door security cameras. They gave me the security camera from way over by customer service where you can barely see me. You can't see the water on the floor. But you still see my behind fall flat on my back. They were trying to hide it. And he comes calling, talking about, I have to drop your case because you slipped in your dress. Man, I ain't slipping no goddamn dress. And I said, you gonna have to show me that, because he never would show me the cameras from the super center before. So he's like, yep, I'll send them to you. You slipped in your dress. And I watched it over and over and over. I'm like, man, I know that's a lie. I said, really? I said, you really finna do this now? They see what they did was held my case until my time was almost up. And that's what they do. They get your case. They act like they're doing something. They stall because you have a statute of limitations. Time will run out. And my case was just about to run out. So he held it long enough and he dropped it. I call all around all the city. Nobody is willing to take on a case against this super center. Really? Is that justice? You hurt me. Your negligence hurt me forever. Like forever. I'm still dealing with this 8 years later, and I'm told this is the rest of my life because you can't fix. I have nerve damage now. I have 5 pinched nerves in my neck. I have TMJ. Your jaw be feeling like it's about to freaking fall off your face. It's so tight. It feels like your face is all balled up all the time. I had daily headaches. 3 herniated discs in my neck. My bottom disc is slipped as well. So I have sciatica because that's the disc that goes down to your feet and your legs. And I'm told that a lot of it is causing more carpal tunnel symptoms. I'm going through all this pain, and y'all trying to, that's chump change to y'all. Y'all make billions upon billions upon billions a day. Like, really? So ultimately, he drops my case. He sends me this DVD, and we look at it, and clearly, I did not follow my dress. I watched it over and over, like he said. I'm like, what the heck, man? I'm legally blind, not you. How in the world did you see that I fell in a dress? So I keep trying to find lawyers. I'm getting very frustrated. My mother just passed. Like, y'all doing way too much. Like, really, way too much. Finally, someone gets me in touch with a lawyer, and they're like, no, he's not like that. He's going to take your case. And I'm like, I don't really have much time left. And he's like, yeah, I'm going to take your case and blah, blah, blah. And ultimately, in the end, he does the same thing. He holds it for the duration of the time I had left, and he drops me right before it ends. In the end of my slip and fall, the only thing that I got was 3 herniated discs in my neck, arthritis in my neck now, 5 pinched nerves, a slip disc in my lower back, TMJ in my jaw, more carpal tunnel symptoms, and sciatica throughout my lower extremities. And I ended up with multiple collection agency accounts on my credit due to all of it going to credit. Yes, I lose again. And I continually pay for this. Now I see a chiropractor. He's not, it's an advanced chiropractic place where he does adjust you, but it's kind of different. He scans your body, and the scans show like the exact points, because chiropractic, they kind of adjust everything. So while adjusting everything, there's places that are still intact that you're misadjusting once you're trying to adjust that. So he targets where you need to adjust. And that scan is actually not covered by, it's almost like $100 a visit, but it's not covered by insurance because they kind of, regular medical does not. Ooh, they're kind of behind. So they're not into this right now. So this is like alternative. And I pay out of my pocket. I pay every time that $100 out of my pocket. That's me paying for that. So I have been treating there, I think, almost 2 years since. I'm still in pain, but it's more bearable. I do not. Oh yeah, what I didn't add to that laundry list of what I did get out of that slip and fall, I also got where it's much harder for me to work now. It's so hard for me to keep a job because I have too much going on and I'm in constant pain. And because you see me walking around able bodied, people assume that you're fine and you're just trying to slack and this and that. They don't know what pain is going on inside your body. So also, please don't always look at people like, oh, why are you like, whatever, you ain't disabled. You ain't, you don't know what a person's going through. You don't know the many times I had to go to the bathroom and you think it's a bathroom break and I'm going in there crying and rubbing muscle rub cream all over me and putting ice on me in the bathroom. And the time that you're taking bathroom breaks, I'm in there trying to get myself to keep going through this work day. That's my struggle. And people don't know my struggle because I wear this strong exterior and they don't see the breakdowns, the crying in the bathroom, the everyday a headache. It's just a matter of time before I have a headache. And that's how I lived my life for those years. And since going to the advanced chiropractic, I do not have the everyday headache. I was able to I was going through a bottle of Excedrin almost a week and a half. Because that was the only thing that got rid of my headaches, Excedrin migraine. And I was going through that and that's not even good for you because it could cause liver damage and stuff like that. So, but when you're in pain, you just don't want this pain anymore. You don't want to be in pain. Living in pain affects like so much of and pinched nerves affect a lot of problems in your body, even mentally. It pinches off the blood that you need to your brain, that you need to your heart, that you need to your stomach. It causes so many different, really. And also the doctor had told me not too long ago, where you're in your neck where you have that pinched nerve, it can send a signal to the brain of suicidal thoughts. And I'm like, for real, that's crazy. It sends a signal to your brain that, hey, you just don't want this pain anymore, and boom, just it's really crazy. I've been through a lot in my life. I've been through a lot. And I still get up every day trying to think that tomorrow is going to be better. This is not it. This is not it. So, yeah, just think about how you treat the next person. That lawyer dropped me with like I was a hot potato. Actually, he dropped me because he went from being a lawyer that was kind of on his own, and he joined a big company, and that company said no. I don't know if they had dealings with that super center or what, but they said that no. And he, instead of doing the right thing, he did what was right for him and kind of screwed me over. It was already a will and deal game going against that company. You just can't. Certain companies, baby, just make sure you don't get hurt on their property at all, because you fin. Anyways, please think about how you treat others. You don't know how your one movement can affect someone for the rest of their life. And see, you move past that, but that person is still stuck right there where you affected their lives. So let's try to move, like, it really just goes all the way back to treat people the way you want to be treated. There's a reason for that. There is a reason that you're supposed to treat others in the manner that you want to be treated, because it's going to come around a day that you're going to need to be treated in the manner that that person would want to be treated. See, we all are connected. We act as though we're not, like we're single units walking around this earth. We're connected. And this is why there's so much chaos. Instead of us being connected the way we're supposed to be, we're disconnected from each other. We're disconnected. And that's why we're all suffering. Until we come together the way we're supposed to, the suffering doesn't stop, guys. But I let it go. I'm just a freaking artist and graphic designer, so I don't know too much. Anyway, here's your girl Cadillac. Juju, not right now. It's not 2:00. Huh? Okay. Okay. If 2:00 coming, I didn't get the rest. Hurry up. Juju, you take it too slow now, honey. Yeah. Juju, hurry up. My stomach hurts. I make sure of these work. Most of them don't work. And you keep leaving the tops off of them, so they're not going to work. Oh, gosh. Now my top. I honestly don't know where I left off. Marcello keeps telling me, he actually, side note, he's taking YouTube courses as well. On his tablet from the kiosk, they can download courses. So he's taking a how to be successful on YouTube courses. And he's telling me that don't cut Juju out so much, because that's what makes the videos cute or whatever. But boy, babe. Anyway, okay. That's where your pain and suffering is going to supplement. And I'm like, I don't care about that. I'm hurting. I want to feel like I felt before that fall. Hold on, Juju. Juju, hold on a second, baby. I'll come out in 10 minutes, okay? Get Marcello a lawyer. Juju. 10 minutes. Ho- okay. I'm almost done. Hurry up, Juju.
Fun later. Okay. We'll find it later.
No, you go find my phone.
I have in front of us. It fall out.
I honestly don't know where I just left off. So, yeah, it's looking really bad. Hold on, Juju.
Got it.
Okay, come back in 10 more minutes. I'm just about done.
I'm gonna get you the phone.
Juju, I'm not gonna go anywhere if you keep interrupting. No, you don't know how to. You're not patient.
I'm impatient.
Okay, so go out there and wait. Go back to Granddad and wait. Bring me my charger back.
And then get my toy car.
If you're patient,
Okay.
go get my charger.
We'll find it later.
No, ain't no. Doing too much. He keeps my phone dead, so I have a hard time keeping my phone charged up. Marcello can call at any moment. I'm sure I missed 12 of his calls when he's riding out on my phone. But anyway, it's
It's a cat.